The Wild Party, and The Lost Shoes. And we need to get the right kind of music here for this, so we are going to invite in Jack LaLanne. Now we want to start at the beginning here, so we have it. It's Monday on the Jack LaLanne Show, and I'm home. Now I should have listened to Jack LaLanne, because he talks about having a hangover. So Jack LaLanne comes on, and he's on for 20 minutes, and then there's a 10-minute break, and then there's a half hour. And religiously, while Bud was gone, I did exercises with Jack LaLanne, because I had a baby, so why not? So I am looking so good. I think as good as I did as before I had any babies. So let's listen to Jack LaLanne, the words that I should have listened to.
What do I see? Please keep it down, right? Where it is. I see we have some new students. And what do I see? I see a lot
I'm not a new student, Jack. I'm one of your regulars. Look at me. I've toned up. I look beautiful.
I'm going to show you what to do about that old hangover. You know what I want you to do? Get up on your feet, give me a big smile.
Now he's talking about a hangover.
I want you to reach down to the floor, then reach up to the ceiling. Oh, before we get going, let me clarify myself.
Oh, wait a minute. Jack's going to talk.
The kind you get from overindulgence. I'm talking about the kind you get from lack of exercise and eating too much of the wrong food. You know, you're hanging here,
right,
hanging
Jack.
here, and everything.
Right. That's the not anymore, Jack. I've been exercising with you. I have nothing hanging over.
Does that make sense? Okay. Remember I told you the first movement?
All right. So I'm exercising with Jack LaLanne, and at that time you had to answer the phone from the wall, and you didn't know who was calling, so the phone rings. So I turn the Jack to the background, and I go there, and it's Gloria. Gloria, the Marine's wife and my friend. And she says, Linda, are you still doing that exercising? I said, of course, every day. I want to look good for when Bud comes home. I want to get rid of all that baby fat. So she's listening, and she says, wow. She says, that's something else. You should reward yourself. I'm going out tomorrow because George is coming home on Friday with the ship with Bud, and I'm going shopping. I want to get a new swimming suit. Then I'm thinking, well, I don't have a swimming suit because last summer I was pregnant and I had a maternity swimming suit, but you don't wear that one. So Jack LaLanne's still exercising, Gloria and I are talking, and we set up a date for the next day. We both hire babysitters, and we are going downtown Charleston to look for something both to wear when we meet the ship and a swimming suit. Now, gals, you know the horrors of swimming suit shopping before you're ready for it. I don't know, but this year I look pretty good, and I figured, okay, I'm getting a swimming suit. But I'm a very modest person, so I'm not really the person that's going to buy. At that age, I was very modest. So we have to find the right music for this one, and we have to get it on here for the next one. So let's see, I got it right saved here. Goodbye, Jack. We need to get the next one. And Gloria and I take off. She's got this snazzy little sports car, and she is taking me downtown, and we're going shopping. And I'll be darned, I can't find my movie music I wanted, but anyway, we'll get it. So we're going to get it here in a minute, and we're going shopping downtown and looking for something to wear for our husbands, and also something to wear for swimming suits. So let's see if I can pull it up here. There we go. I got it. Now imagine me being 24 and my sassy Marine wife next to me. Gloria's a little bit older than I am and about 3 heads shorter than I am. And I think there must be a rule. Marines only marry beautiful women, because Gloria was a knockout. She was gorgeous. She had this auburn hair with a red highlight, and she was so pretty. So she's trying on swimming suits. I'm trying on swimming suits. Gloria comes in. She's got hers all picked out. And she looks terrific. And it's a little string bikini. Oh God, no way would I wear something like that where I have all these modest swimsuits that I'm going to wear. Gloria comes in, she's all done, she's got hers picked out, and then she says to me, no, Linda, you don't want to wear that. Get something that shows off all that work you did with Jacqueline. What do you want to hide your body for? For I know Gloria's out, picked out this red bikini. Now, it wasn't as brief as hers, but it showed an awful lot. A lot. So I said, well, I can't wear that. She says, well, I said, I can't do that. I'll be embarrassed. She says, well, we're not done yet. You have to get a sarong. Now, sarong is just a wraparound, and we wore it at those times, and you sort of took the corners. It was nothing more than a big scarf, and you threw the corners, you threw it under your arm, and then you took it up and you tied it up on the shoulder, like this, and then pulled it down, and it was, all the way down to the floor, so it covered up oops, I'm losing my wig. So, you covered up your swimming suit, and all you had to do when you go to the beach was undo this strap and go. Okay, but now Gloria's still not done. She says, Linda, get rid of the mom-looking sandals. You need a pair of shoes. So we walk over to the shoe department. Gloria picks out for me these gold sandals. Now, I don't have them anymore, but I have a pair of gold sandals. They were kind of strappy like this in the front, only the ones that Gloria picked out had like 3 or 4 inch heels on them. I said, Gloria, I can't wear that. I'm 6 foot tall. I'll tower over everybody. She says, don't worry about it. George is 6'4", your husband's 6'4". You'll sit with us, you'll fit right in. I'll be the only short one at the table. So now I leave the store. I got a red bikini, a tropical patterned sarong, and these gold, I remember those, sandals with high heels. So now both of our husbands come home on Friday, and we're really happy to see them. And the day after, my bud is in with his 2 sons in the other bedroom, and I'm cleaning up breakfast dishes. And on the counter, he had put a bunch of papers, and I picked one up. I read it. Oh no, the captain's having a beach party. I look at the date, tonight? Oh my goodness. And it says beach attire required. Only swimming suit I have is the one that Gloria picked out for me, and by that time I was ready to take it back to the store and return it because it was just a little too skimpy. So I go up to the door where Bud's playing with the boys, and I say, hey, Bud, how come you didn't tell me about the captain's party? I thought I did, doll. I thought I told you. I said, well, I don't have a swimming suit to wear. I said, but I have one. But your Marine buddy, George's wife, picked it out for me, and I don't feel comfortable in it. I said, it just shows a little too much skin. So my husband continues playing with the boys, but then he thinks about it. He says, well, go try it on. I'll meet you in the living room in 5. You can try it on for me. So I do. I put on my swimming suit, the bikini. Now, I don't own a bikini anymore, so the closest I can come to it is a tank top. So we'll get into the tank top mode here, and we'll get ready to show Bud my bikini. It's a red bikini. It's kind of cute. It has ruffles around the bust and a little bit of ruffle along the bottom. And it's really cute. But it does show an awful lot of skin, a lot more than I'm used to showing. So I got this red bikini. This is supposed to be my bikini. And when I go out to see my husband, I'm a little shy. I've got the gold heels on. And I'm a little shy still because this is something new for me. I don't wear two-piece bathing suits, even though I had the figures for it. So I tie on my sarong, okay, and I'm going out to show my husband. And of course, I got these long legs sticking out the bottom of the sarong, and my husband's sitting on the thing. He says, well, doll, I can't see your swimming suit. You got that cover up. He says, take it off so I can see what the suit actually looks like. Oh, but I don't want to. So he comes up. He comes up and he grabs hold of the thing, and all of a sudden comes down, and there it is, my red bikini. Oh, I was so embarrassed. Not my husband. He gives me a wolf whistle. Woo! He says, remind me to send Jacqueline a thank you note. You look so hot, doll. Now he's standing up, and he's coming over to me, and he starts kissing my neck, and he's nibbling on the strap of my bikini and pulling it down my shoulder the whole time he's doing it, and nibbling my neck, and this is getting pretty hot. So pretty soon, his little boy, Gregory, pokes his head out the door and is standing there. I said, Bud, we have an audience. Bud. Still didn't hear me. Bud. Finally, he stops for a minute. I said, Bud, Gregory's there. Gregory's there. We have to stop this. He says, doll, my son is going to grow up to be a sailor. And if he meets somebody like you, he's going to have to know what to do to keep her happy. And he goes back to kissing me. Now he keeps it clean, but he's still kissing me. Finally, Gregory's had enough of this. He says, Dad, stop kissing Mom. So Bud does. Bud stops kissing him. And pretty soon, it's time to go to party. Now, this party is at the captain's house, and the captain has moved out to the beach. He's moved out to Sullivan's Island. Sullivan's Island is quite a beautiful place, and we're quite excited to go to see this because, it's a beautiful beach, and we've been there a lot. So Sullivan's Island is about 33 miles by car down Route I-26 west, or I-26. I think we'd be going east then. And that comes out. Now, my husband's left-brained, remember that. So Bud figures out that's 26.4 miles from our home. Okay, so we have to add a little bit to that. Okay, so he's going to add to it 20 more minutes. So he has it all figured out. And then he comes back a little bit later and says, we need an extra 10 minutes for traffic. Okay, so whatever. I get used to the 20-minute rule. It seems to be a military thing, this early arrival thing. So we're going down I-26, and I'm fidgeting all the way down, nervous about wearing this bikini. I'm so nervous. And he says, relax, doll, you look wonderful in that. You look good enough to eat. And then he takes his finger and again is pulling down the strap. I said, Bud, cut it out. I got to look respectable. This is your captain. I don't want to embarrass you in front of the captain. He says, the captain isn't here. He says, it's just you and I. I said, okay, that's all right. So right before we get there, we pull up, and there's this big house. Now, the captain, the CEO of this ship, I guess he made pretty much money, but he also had a wife who was some bigwig in the medical profession, some maybe in administration. So she was pulling a big buck. So this is a beautiful house. So you have to go to the front of the house, turn right, and then go down like a sandy path next to the house to the backyard. And in the backyard, it is done up to the T. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And ahead is the ocean with the beach and a path to go to the beach, and the sun is just starting to set, so tiki lights are set up around the whole place. And over to one side, there's a DJ who's playing, at this time, sedate, pretty nice dinner music. And then there is this huge picnic table. Now, you have to realize, being on the beach, that this had to survive, this picnic table had to survive if there was a high wind. So it was a big, hard maple table, hard picnic table, at least 15 feet long, maybe 17 feet. It was big. And that's set up with dinner food. So the DJ's up there, picnic table set up with dinner food, and then around that picnic table are round tables, portable tables for the guests with chairs. And the waiters are going around with trays for pre-cocktails. Have one of those. We find Gloria and George, and I'm sort of still conscious about being so tall, but when George and my husband are next to each other, I feel, oh well, I'm okay. I'll be okay. So we have this beautiful dinner. Oh, but the only thing that was bad with it, it was sort of salty. They made crabs, and the crabs had that Old Bay with a lot of seasoning on, and it really made you thirsty. So the waiters are coming around, and my husband, he's very responsible. He's drinking Guinness, and so is George. And George gets a pitcher after a while, and I see the waiter go by with something that I think would be really good to try. It's called the Boozy Watermelon Slushy. Now, I gave you the recipe for that in case you want to ever get slushed. I mean, in case you ever want to try it. It's very delicious. You'll notice that the second ingredient is vodka. Yes, it is. So, every time the waiter went by, I didn't know anything about vodka. I'm only 24 years old. I don't drink much. I got another one. So finally, George got a little tired of that, of the waiter having to come back for more beer, the Marine. He says, bring us a pitcher of Guinness and a pitcher of watermelon slushes. So every time that I turned around, my glass was refilled with watermelon slushy. And it's so hot, and I had all that salty food, so I'm drinking watermelon slushies. Now my husband decides that we should dance, so we go out and dance. So we're out dancing, and he still is focused on that strap. And Bud was quite the dancer. So he's always sashaying up to me and pulling my strap down with his teeth. I'd pull it back up. Comes back up again. Finally, I gave up. Left it down over my shoulder and danced, and my husband he liked the swimming suit. But I still have the cover up. I didn't take that off yet. So the party got a little bit wilder. With more pictures of watermelon slushies. More Guinness. So, we're still dancing. And the dancing got wilder. And every time we came back, we had to pass the captain's table. Captain's sitting there with his wife, and the next in line and his wife, and so on and so forth, all the bigwigs from the ship. And we have to pass it, so I always made sure my strap was up and my sarong covered me up, and I'm going to look good when I go by the captain and say, hello, Captain. I don't want him to think anything bad. I want him to think good of me. This is my husband. He's a young officer. I want him to think well of my husband. I don't want to embarrass my husband. Well, I did that all night. Every time we finished the dance, I came back, straightened myself out when we went by the captain, and had another watermelon slushie. Well, the party got even wilder. Some of the sailors now they cleared away the main meal on this huge picnic table, and some of the sailors have decided this would be a great place to dance. So they're taking turns dancing on top of this wooden picnic table. And it's really getting funny. I mean, they are really soused, a lot of these guys. I hope they got home safe. I don't know, but they're having a good time. One after the other, they're dancing up there and dancing and dancing. So, this is where it gets interesting, because I'm still drinking watermelon slushies. And I swear it was George the Marine that kept filling my glass, but he'll never admit to it, never did. So from that point on, things get a little blurry. And I wake up the next day with the most awful, awful headache. And there's my husband. And he's looking down at me. He says, how do you feel, doll? I said, well, I have a terrible headache. And I said, oh. He says, yes, you should. He says, didn't you know watermelon slushies have vodka in it? No, but I didn't know that. He says, well, he says, don't worry about it. He says, here's 2 aspirin and a glass of water. You rest a bit and then you'll feel better. I said, but I don't remember anything that happened after a certain point. I can't remember it. But I do remember that you threw me over your shoulders and carried me out to the car. And now I can see the smile coming on his face. And Bud had the smile. You never knew if he was being a jokester or if he was serious. But he had the smile. He says, don't worry about it, doll. Nothing happened that you have to be embarrassed about. Don't worry about it. So anyway, an hour later, I stumble out to the living room, wrapped in my bathrobe, then collapse on the sofa with an Afghan over my head. Bud says, feel better? I said, yes, Bud, thank you for letting me sleep. I said, I really needed that sleep. I feel a little bit better. My head still hurts a bit. And I said, but I remember something else. I remember another song that came on, but I don't remember why. I said, I don't remember why this song came on. But it was on towards the end of the night. I can't remember why. Now I'm going to play you the song so you can hear it. Okay, of course I can't type when I want to type. Okay, there we go. We're going to get it now. Okay. Okay, we're going to get it soon here. And so anyway, he says I didn't really do anything wrong, and I believe him. Okay, so here we go. I said, this is a song I remember them playing. Oh, they're going to have commercial here. I said, but I don't really remember why the DJ played that song. I said, do you remember? He says, don't worry about it, doll. It's okay. I said, this is the song. Now he's laughing. He's laughing his head off. Now, as if I couldn't be more embarrassed, I still don't know what happened. So the doorbell rings. Who's at the door? It's his buddy George, the Marine. George is this big guy. He had these big shoulders, and my Bud was slender. They were both about the same height, very muscular. But George was like, if you looked at the Marine bulldog face, that was George's face. Handsome as could be, but rugged. Oh my goodness, he was so handsome. So he's there at the door, and he rings the doorbell, and both of them are standing, my husband and his buddy George, are standing at the door, roaring with laughter. Now, these guys joke around a lot, but this is really roaring. So all of a sudden, George announces to me, Linda, are these your shoes? And he's taking it on his finger and kind of whirling it around. Now, my fingers aren't big enough to do both of them, but George's were. He's got both of my shoes there, and he's whirling them around in the circle on his pointer finger. He says, Gloria found those next to that big wooden picnic table. He brings them up, and almost like in a Cinderella pose, he hands them to me. Now, from the back of he's got one hand behind his back, and he, oh God, see if I can get this one up now, starts playing the song, and he has my sarong over his head, and he's kind of whirling it around in a circle. And while he's whirling this around, his hips are going, and he's going back and forth, and oh, the bumps. Oh, and he did the bumps. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. My husband is roaring because George is doing this dance. I'm thinking, oh my God, did I really do that? Did I really do that? And they're laughing. So I figured I have to find out. I have to find out what I actually did, because all I remember is the music, and I remember being carried out to the car. So I take my shoes, and I throw it at both of the guys, one at each. And now they turn to me, and they know what question I'm asking. And Bud says, no, doll, you didn't embarrass yourself. I said, well, the shoes were by the picnic table. Where did you get this wrong? Oh God, here it gets worse. So his buddy George says, oh, Gloria had to go and get it from the captain's table. Linda, you really ought to take up baseball. You have a pretty good throw. Smacked the captain right in the face. Oh no, oh my God, did I really? Yes, you did.